The Minnesota Vikings are 5-0, 5-0, 5-0 after defeating the New York Football Jets in London. And I wasn't able to watch the game live for the most part because we had a big church event and I had to catch up throughout the afternoon. I saw the pick at the end of the game, but that's why I'm a little later to react to the Minnesota Vikings 23-17 victory over the New York Jets. And this was a big win too because the New York Jets had a lot to play for. They should have been highly motivated. They should have had a lot of intensity because they were 500. And they have the Buffalo Bills coming to their city next weekend, and that's going to be a tough game with Josh Allen, even though they're on a 2-game losing streak. So this was a massive game for the New York Jets. And the Minnesota Vikings came out and clobbered them from the get-go, up 17-0. Will Reichard kicks a field goal. The Minnesota Vikings offense stutters a little bit. Sam Darnold takes a sack on 3rd and 1, which negates the opportunity to go for it on 4th and 1. The Minnesota Vikings offense stutters again with Ty Chandler blowing it. It goes right through his hands. It seemed like a good pitch by Sam Darnold, and Ty Chandler just completely whiffed it. But then Andrew Van Ginkel, for the second time this season, intercepts the quarterback and takes it to the house. Now, when he intercepted Daniel Jones, he picked it off and ran like 5 yards into the end zone. But this interception against Aaron Rodgers, he snags it, stiff arms a player, runs down the sidelines past every Jets player, and runs that ball into the end zone. What a phenomenal signing Andrew Van Ginkel was for the Minnesota Vikings. Phenomenal ball skills, great instincts, and the way that he can catch the ball from quarterbacks with ease is a natural gift that he has, that not even all receivers can do. So one of the best signings in perhaps Minnesota Vikings history in the offseason. So another amazing star-studded play. One of the big talking points was the Minnesota Vikings defense, the interception by Van Ginkel, the interception by Cam Bynum, and then the interception by Stephon Gilmore to close it out against Aaron Rodgers, which is a big deal because Rodgers doesn't throw interceptions often. He came into this ball game only throwing 1 interception in his week 1 performance against the San Francisco 49ers. Against the Titans, no picks. Against the Patriots, no picks. Against the Broncos, no picks. The guy doesn't like to turn the football over. He doesn't take that many risks on the football field. And the Vikings didn't get him once, they didn't get him twice. They got him 3 times. This is, I think, the Minnesota Vikings' first 3-interception game against Aaron Rodgers. And who knows how long it's been since Aaron Rodgers threw 3 picks. It's probably been since like his rookie season. So the fact that the Minnesota Vikings defense was able to carry them to a win in this football game when the offense was sputtering was awesome. And it just shows how multidimensional this Minnesota Vikings team is, that they can win in multiple ways, which is a very good thing. However, I did see a lot of people, talking about how the Minnesota Vikings won and their offense wasn't, all the way there. Sam Darnold wasn't great in this game. He was 14 for 31, 179 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 pick. He had a QBR rating of 19.7. And he had a passer rating of 50.3, which is not good. That's a little come back to life a little here because he was so good in the first 4 weeks of the season, leading the NFL in touchdown passes, 11 touchdowns, 3 picks, and he still got 11 touchdowns, 4 picks. He's still having the best year of his career, still doing exactly what we need him to do, still led a massive drive from the Minnesota Vikings when they needed it. They needed some points on the board to get up by more than a field goal, or that game's going to overtime, and he did it. He led the Vikings down the field, and Will Reichard kicked in another field goal to go up 23-17, which is the 3rd time this season that Sam Darnold has delivered when he needed to do it most. This guy, if you want to believe in something like this, is clutch and has the clutch gene because it's not luck anymore. He has proven that he can drive the Minnesota Vikings down the field with a lead when they need it most. Now, can he come back from behind? I don't know yet. But when he needs to deliver clutch, big-time throws, he's done that this season. So bravo to him for that. But the big takeaway that I'm reading online is that the Minnesota Vikings won despite their offense not playing well, which shows that they can win with their C+, B- game, which they proved today. But you have to be careful about a take like that because they did it today. Everyone's cheering it. But if they go out and perform this way against the Detroit Lions, well, they're not going to win that football game. And nobody's saying that they are, but you have to be careful because, it's great. The Vikings won with their C+ game. But at the same time, you can't continue to win with that C+ game. One game's not a big deal. But if they do it again, if they have back-to-back games where their offense stutters and doesn't look good and is struggling, especially after Aaron Jones went down, well, then that becomes a problem. The Minnesota Vikings offense, KOC's a genius. Justin Jefferson tracks 3 defenders on him every single play. And the Jets defense is good. They got Sauce Gardner. They got Quinnen Williams. These guys have talent defensively. And they wiped out the Patriots, Titans. Broncos only scored 10 points. So they've proven that they have good defenders. But the Minnesota Vikings offense struggled in this game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. C.J. Ham had the only offensive touchdown, and thank the Lord for Will Reichard because he was clutch kick after kick after kick and was able to deliver when the Minnesota Vikings needed him to do it. So the Minnesota Vikings won. But this offense does need to figure it out because you can't have back-to-back poor starts, especially when you start getting into these big-time divisional matchups against the Detroit Lions. Now, I don't think anyone's going to mistake the Detroit Lions defense with the New York Jets defense, but going into the bye week, coming out of the bye week, it's something that needs to be figured out because Sam Darnold, as great as he was, 11 touchdowns, 3 picks going into this game, you don't want to have him come back to earth and reveal his true colors because he had one really bad throw. The interception was terrible. The Vikings were up by 10. It was the late fourth quarter, and that interception brought the Jets back into this football game really quickly instead of the Vikings punting and making them drive the whole length of the field to get it done. But the Minnesota Vikings offense was carried by the Minnesota Vikings defense. They were able to get it done, and they're 5-0. The only thing that matters is the W. And it is the only thing that matters, but at the same time, the way you win matters. And the way the Minnesota Vikings offense played today isn't going to get them wins in playoff games. So that's something that can't be a problem moving forward for the Minnesota Vikings. But it was a win. A win's a win. They're 5-0. And it is very exciting. And Kevin O'Connell does what he does. Half what? I don't even know what I'm saying. After the game, he delivered his game balls. So take a look at this.
Hey, fellas, let me tell you something. All right, this is the National Football League. 5 up, 5 down. Give it up for yourself. Sometimes in this league, all right, you're going to feel a little sloppy at times. Sometimes in this league, adversity is going to hit. Not one time did I feel anybody on our football team truly doubt that we're going to come in here 1-0 today with our 5th win. All right, but it's hard sometimes. You got to lean in. All right, when it's a sloppy game, points ain't ringing up for your offense all day. You got to rely on a couple things. First and foremost, you got to rely on a cold-blooded dude that's going to walk out there and hit 3 points from wherever I ask him to. Offensively, you know what I liked? It's a tough day for us, tough sledding at times. We could be 1,000 times better, and we will. But when we had to have it, we went down, walked our way down the field. Sam Darnold with some huge throws to Justin and Johnny. We go get the 3 points, and then we waited. All right, waited for that one play. And there was play after play. flow, call after call. You guys sticking up for your brothers in this locker room, knowing it might have been one of those days for us, but when in doubt, backs against the wall, we're going to lean on our defense to win a football game. All right? I got Van Gink. I got Bynum. Come on. Closer got Gilly. All right, I wish I could throw this all the way up to the rooftops right now. Every single player and coach on defense, hell of a job today. Game ball for everybody. But Gilly, get on in here, man. Come on, Gilly. There's a reason why we wanted you on this team, man, for moments just like that. 5 up, 5 down. Enjoy your bye week.
Hey, we needed everybody, bro. Hey, I love y'all boys, man. We battle for the end.
We love you.
Hey, Vikes on 3. 1, 2, 3.
What a signing Stephon Gilmore turned out to be after he gets the game-clinching interception against Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw picks. He had 1 pick entering this football game, throws 3 against the Minnesota Vikings defense, and they pulled out the W, moved to 5-0. And it's always fun to watch Kevin O'Connell's speeches after the game, who he gives the game ball to. And those game balls that he gave away were to all deserving players. Will Reichard was clutch. Van Ginkel's touchdown, Bynum's pick, and Gilmore's closing interception were all massive plays in a game carried by the Minnesota Vikings defense.